these skills? So just put down your answers on the chat. Let's see how much closer you are. Victoria says 80%, 70, 75. Wow, Agnes says 90, 70, 90, 55. Okay, getting closer. Great. So as per the Carnegie Institute of Technology, 85% of your financial success actually depends on your personality, ability to communicate, negotiate, and lead. So if majority of you focus on technical skills, now you know why it is important to focus on developing your personality and your soft skills. And you don't have to take my word for it, right? Let's look at most of the successful people. You can look at the startup entrepreneurs like anybody who is around you, or anyone who is getting promoted in a job. You will see those kind of people are not just technically qualified, but it's mostly their leadership skills, communication skills, and personality that makes them who they are. Even if you look at Steve Jobs, even if you look at Bill Gates, yes, they do have some skills from a technical point of view, but that's not what makes them who they are. It's their personality, it's their communication skills, it's their marketing skills, how they brand themselves. All of that actually makes them who they are. And hence, it is necessary for you to focus on these skills. With that being said, that's exactly why today's session is focused on boosting your employability using a personal development plan, which is not just focused on technical skills. And you might ask, why have a personal development plan, right? Because if you don't have a plan, you rarely execute them. So with that being said, let me just quickly introduce myself. I am Sajna Samad. I have been working for the last 30 years in different corporate multinational companies. I am also certified supply chain consultant, so that's what I do as a 9-to-5 job. And currently I work with Oracle. I am quite passionate about giving back to the community, so I do a lot of master classes with students from different universities across UAE and India. So I have done more than 45 plus talks just in the last 1 year. During COVID, actually, I decided to follow my purpose. I kind of identified what my purpose is, and it is all about giving back to the community and sharing and empowering people like you. So recently, during the COVID crisis, when everybody was worried about what you would do and all of that, to keep that negativity away, I started my coaching career. And I'm currently a certified coach from J. Shetty Certification School. And I coach professionals like you, or I would say emerging leaders like you, to stand out in the crowd and boost your employability, etc., by helping you create a unique selling personality and a personal brand. So I call myself a career catalyzer. I don't like to call myself a career coach. I call myself a career catalyzer because my area of focus is mostly on the area of developing you as a person and also your personal brand. So with that being said, let's look at what's in store for today. So we have 3 key areas which we will focus today. One is, what are the 3 P's that is required to catalyze your career or required to boost your employability? How you can implement these P's. And finally, how you can effectively integrate it into your personal development plan. Does that sound interesting, exciting? If yes, let's move to the first section of our agenda today. Great. Let's again do some interaction activity, right? Can you guess what could be the 3 P's that can help you catalyze your career? Just take a wild guess. I think one of them we already mentioned, the Carnegie Institute of Technology did actually mention that, but can you just take a wild guess? Chat is yours. What could be these 3 P's? Fun, participation, purpose, personality, Neil. Amazing. Yes. Promotion. What did you mean by promotion? Can you explain promotion a bit more? Psychology, yeah, promoting yourself. Great, Agnes. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. And personal skills, Susanna, yes. personality plan professionality, Jayannath. Awesome, awesome. Yes, many of you got the piece almost right. So the first P, let me introduce you to the first P, right? Which many of you actually already said. So let's take, I always like numbers because that's the only way you are going to reinforce this into your mind. So let's take a look at some of the numbers. We all are technology enthusiasts, right? We the new millennials with all the technology which is coming around us, we all are technology enthusiasts. So let's take a look at how job market we are in is changing due to the transformation we are in. And many of us nowadays, when I go into any conversation, this is a conversation that comes up. Automation can eliminate jobs. It's a fact. Robots can take up our jobs. But how extensive is it? So as per McKinsey report, by 2030, it is said that automation could eliminate more than 236 million jobs in China, and similar are the numbers in the other countries, India, United States, etc. And if you look at the numbers, wow, that's mostly almost the population of some countries in the Middle East from where I come. So that's the kind of elimination of jobs that's happening. And what's the kind of skill set, or from a skill set point of view, at least 50% of all the employees will need reskilling by 2025. Isn't that obvious, right? We are into technology. We know how quickly technology changes. The technical skills you had 5 years back is different from what you need now, right? In school, I remember I learned C++ or something like that, and I started my career as a on-premise consultant. Now I'm a cloud consultant. Probably I'll move to technology like AI, IoT, etc. So the question now, and now I know the question you have is, are there any skill requirements that don't change as technology changes? The good news is yes. And the answer is your soft skill needs. I don't like to call soft skills as soft skills because we always feel that it's not given emphasize enough. Having leadership skills, communication, and personality that inspires are the skills that we'll always need. Those skills will never go out of fashion because they are interpersonal skills, and humans are social animals. So let's look at, again, a research which says, what are the top 10 skills you would need by 2025? And if you look at the skill sets, you will see technology is only on the 7th and 8th position. Analytical thinking, active learning, complex problem solving, critical thinking, etc. is what tops the list. And that are the skills that can help you stand out in the crowd as well. Your soft skills will be your differentiator. And that is exactly why the first P that can boost your employability, that can catalyze your career, is your personal skills. Many of you said, right? The personal skills, not your soft skills that define your career success. Most of the recruiters look for these skill sets when recruiting for employees. Mindset, the growth mindset, it's a big topic these days. What is your mindset? What is your attitude towards job? It's not just about your technical skills. It's also about your mindset, your emotional intelligence. How do you interact with other people? Are you better at decision making? What are your leadership skills? Even if you are not moving into a managerial role, even if you are moving into an individual contributor role, in that role itself, your recruiter expects you to take initiatives. Your leadership skills matter. What are your winning habits? And what is the creativity and other soft skills? Now I know what your question will be. There's so many skills on the list, right? How will you decide what you should focus on? So if you would like me to help you with that, yes, great. So let's do an activity. Take a pen and a book, and if you're ready, let's start. I will give you a moment to take pen and a book. I can't see all. Great. So let me ask you, how many of you love traveling? Have any of you taken unplanned trips with no idea of destination, no bookings, no backup, money, etc.? If you want to just unmute yourself and share the experience, I would love to hear the experience. I would like to know how fun is unplanned trips are. Do everyone enjoy unplanned trips? I see someone is unmuted. Would you like to share? Okay, few of you like some trips. Great. Will you be able to enjoy your trip in case if you run out of money, if you end up being at a destination where you are like, okay, you get stuck and you don't know where to go? Will you still enjoy that experience? Okay. Great. I can see most of you, some of you like unplanned trips. So if whoever have not responded, I imagine that they don't. I don't know. It actually stresses you out. Yes, exactly, Silva. Who else? Okay. So many of us, I think many of even me, I tried once an unplanned trip. It did not go that well. So not many of us actually be able to enjoy our trip. If you're lucky, few like the ones who have Malanta, Gihad, etc., you are amazing, because I don't know how I have never been lucky in that aspect. Yes, it's exciting sometimes, but yeah, to see how you can manage, but it might not be enjoyable. So if you don't take an unplanned holiday trip in your life, then why would you do that with your career? Why would you embark on a career journey without a destination in mind, without at least a vision of where you want to be? That's a question you can ponder upon, because that's the activity we're going to do next. We're going to see how we can define your career destination, and that's the activity called career statement. So in your career journey, if you don't have a career statement, it is exactly like you're taking an unplanned trip. You are aiming at nothing. And I remember there was a quote, if you're aiming at nothing, you will always hit it right? So a career statement is your vision of how you want your career path to look like. A career statement gives you clear direction for the future. It helps you make effective career decisions, effective career plan, and also keeps you motivated to execute it. So a career statement also, I would say, it helps you to find opportunities. If you don't know what you're looking for, how would you identify the opportunities? It's not just about finding opportunities, also help you create opportunities to achieve your goal. So I would say your career statement is the key to open your doors of opportunities. How can you even know what opportunities to search for if you don't know what you're trying to achieve? Right? So let me help you create your career statement. Ask yourself these questions. So take that pen and paper and ask yourself these questions. The first one is, who would you want to retire as? In what position would you want to retire as in your career path? Would you want to be an entrepreneur? Would you want to be a C-level executive and retire, or you want to be in some leadership position, or you want to be an expert in an area? Who would you want to retire as? If you can't think that far, like probably 10 years or 15 years down the lane, then I would ask you to think, what would you like to be in the next 5 years? That would be much more clearer for you. Probably you might not be clear about what would you do and who would you want to retire as, but you would at least have an idea of what would you like to be in the next 5 years. If yes, write that down. If that doesn't help, go a little bit deeper. What do you want to achieve in life? What do you think your purpose in life is? If that gives some clarity, look at that aspect. If you have some kind of idea in this area, like, okay, you're able to find what do you want to be in the next 5 years or retire as, once you have at least a vague idea of what that is, see if it aligns with your values. Because many a times we end up taking we end up taking career paths or professions which doesn't align with your values, and that is exactly why halfway through you feel that you don't feel any more motivated to continue. So look at your values. What are your values? Is family your value? Work-life balance is your value? There are different kinds of values. Ethics is your value. Trust is a value. Does it align with your profession and what you are expected out of your profession? And that's a great question, because what does that do is to check and identify whether your profession actually aligns with your value and you will continue doing it for a longer period of time. finally, ask yourself, why does this particular career fit you? What strengths do you have, which actually helps me achieve this career path? So take a few minutes, like I'll give you 2-3 minutes to actually think about the career statement and write it down. So this will give you an idea. This is my career statement for the next 5 years. Like in my next 5 years, this is what I want to. So I would like to be a certified career coach, which I am already am. But I want to work with professionals from organizations to help them stand out in the crowd by helping them create a unique selling personality and personal brand. Your career statement need not be as elaborate as possible, but just at least identify you want to be X. That's more than enough. So take a few minutes. I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes. Think about it. I'll go back to the questions again so that you know what were the questions, and then you can write down your career statements. Paula, that's great. You want to run your own company. That's amazing. Can you go a little bit more deeper and think what could be the purpose of that company? What would you like to do in that company? And what values of yours actually helps you run that company? And why does it fit you? Our independence and flexibility at work. Great, Paula. That's basically that you are actually identifying your values, and it is also something what we call career anchors. What actually helps you stay motivated at work? There are so many career anchors which actually tells you that okay, this is what makes me feel good at work. So for you, it's independence and about freedom and flexibility at work. That's amazing, Paula. What strengths do you have which helps you run your company? And if you can go a little bit more deeper and more quantified, by when would you like to start your company? By when would you like to begin? So then there it comes to the goals part, right? This is a career statement, which is great work. Since it's so clear for you, so you can go to the next step and dig deeper and see what could be the different goals you have to achieve to reach there. Jayanad says, I do have these skills as follows: analytical skill, problem solving skill. Great. So do you have any particular career in mind or a destination in mind for your career which aligns with these skill sets you have? What would you like to be? Once you are done, if you are done, you can post your career statement on this chat. It's totally up to you if you want to do it. So let's move forward and see, because Jayanta actually mentioned a few things which I wanted to discuss next. This is the next activity. Okay. So yes, Victoria, I can decide in the long term, but I would like to work in the creative field in a marketing position, preferably in a startup. Awesome. That's pretty clear for you, Victoria. That's great. Great. Where I can contribute to the overall goal of the business. So probably contribution, your contribution being visible is a value for you. And that's exactly why you have mentioned that in your career statement. Great. So I hope you all have at least an idea of where you want to be. If that's the case, let's move to the next one. I want to know, have any one of you done a SWOT analysis before? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis. Not for your business, but for yourself. Businesses actually do it very frequently. They do this on a regular basis. But I want to know for you as a person, have you done a SWOT analysis? If you have done, please, I would like to know your experience. What did you find? Was it interesting to find what during the analysis, what you found? Okay, I think nobody have done it. That is fine. So since you have not done it, I would like to actually help you do that, right? So the next 5 minutes, I'll help you create your SWOT analysis, which is aligned with your career statement. So sometimes what happens is many of you might have done it, or some of you might have done it, but you might have not done that career statement, SWOT analysis in alignment with your career statement. So considering where you want to be in your career, let's look at what are the different aspects you need and what are the different aspects which might hinder you in reaching that goal. So that is basically what SWOT analysis is all about. So SWOT analysis is a 4-quadrant analysis in which you have one quadrant is all about your strengths, the other quadrant or the other section is all about your weakness, and the other, another quadrant is opportunity, and the final one is threat. So let me explain each one of them for you. So strengths is, so for example, Paula wants to be an entrepreneur, right? She wants to start a business of her own. So what are the strengths that helps you, which you have currently, that will help you to start a business of your own? So probably you have good leadership skills, probably you are good at managing teams, probably you're good at managing the financials, you know how to do the financials for a startup. You might have a good network of people, right, who can help fund your business. So what are the strengths? What are the professional skills do you have to achieve your goal? That is basically what you put down on the strengths quadrant. So you just list down what are the skill sets. So Jayanta mentioned some skill sets, right? Find that skill sets comes under the strengths quadrant. So there are some questions here just to pick your brain in case you're getting stuck. So the questions are like, what professional skills do you have? What are you good at? What kind of services can you offer? Because we are being an entrepreneur, that's basically what you do. If you want to be an employee, what are the skill sets you have? What are the favorable personality traits you have? Are you a person with growth mindset? Do you have a high EQ score? Are you good at leadership skills? So identify what are the strengths which support you to achieve that career goal. Okay, so that's the strengths quadrant. Now, when we look at the weaknesses is basically the skill sets you should actually have to achieve that goal, but you don't currently have. So it is kind of stopping you from achieving your goal, right? So what are you bad at? Some of the skill sets which you should actually have, but you don't have it. So for example, for Paula, probably she doesn't know how to do the financials part of it. So either she might have to find another person to do it, or she might have to learn how to do it. So that could be a weakness from that perspective. The other aspect is, what are your internal fears? Are you scared of public speaking, or are you scared of losing money or whatever? Are there any internal fears which you have to work on? Your mindset, if you have failed before doing something, what were your learnings, and what is that you have to improve from, because of which contributed to that failure? So look at the weaknesses from that aspect, and weaknesses which will stop you from achieving your career goal. The opportunities part is basically looking at the external. So what we did, the strengths and weaknesses which is internal to you, right? Opportunities is what additional opportunities do you have which can help you reach that career goal. It could be a promotion opportunity at work. It could be a training opportunity which will help you improve some of those weaknesses which you have. It could be, someone who can support you and who is a person who can support you to boost your employability, or a person who's in your network. So what are the different kinds of opportunities you have which helps you to achieve your goal? That's in the opportunities quadrant. And finally, the threats quadrant is basically, what are the challenges, any external challenges, any external threats. So COVID could be a threat for employability, right? COVID could be probably also a benefit for some people, right? Depending on which sector you're working for. Health sector, COVID is actually a boon because many people are getting jobs, but for other sectors, it might have affected. So what are any external threats you have? from a competition point of view, if you're going into an employer interview, what are other competitors you have in that particular interview or particular job, or within your organization, who is a competitor for you kind of to that promotion. So look at the SWOT analysis from that aspect and fill it out. I would like you to take 2 or 3 minutes to think about your career goal, and aligned with that, do a SWOT analysis. Sure, do you have any questions? Please feel free to interact with me, and you can actually unmute yourself and ask any questions if you have. If not, if chat is comfortable, please do that as well. So I'll give you 3 minutes to think about your 3 to 4 minutes, 4 minutes, I would say, for each, because we have 4 quadrants. Let's spend 1 minute each to actually think about these areas. Gihad, you have done it before. That's great. So do you have you done this SWOT, personal SWOT, right? Would you like to share your experience? Okay. Sure, you can unmute yourself and share your experience. If you are speaking, we can't hear you. Okay, so I'll give you 2 more minutes. Just pointers, just what the points for your personal SWOT should be enough. Just what you have to focus on, which will help you accelerate your career, boost your employability. What are the opportunities? What are the threats? What are the different strengths and weaknesses you have, etc. Victoria, yes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Just let me see who is speaking. Yes, I can hear you. Gihad, yes.
Yes. I did the SWOT analysis for one time for my, personality analysis, and the second time for the for a sort of organization voluntary work. We did the SWOT analysis in order to know what are the strengths and the weakness in our organization to improve our performance. So regarding my the personal analysis, my strengths turned out to be having analytical skills and planning skills, whereas the opportunities, I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I'm not trying to figure it out. I know I took courses in order to improve or to enhance my skills, and I found that my weaknesses, like if in what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of failure, for example. I don't know.
You're afraid of what?
Failure.
Failure. Okay.
And being perfectionist, because the fear of failure makes me like want to make everything in the best way. That's it.
That's amazing, Gihad. So when did you do this?
I did it like 5 months ago.
Okay, great. So when you did this SWOT analysis and you found that you have some weaknesses, like you mentioned about being a perfectionist, and that is actually stopping you from doing things because you are always trying to be perfect, right? Have you worked on that to improve?
I'm trying to work on it.
Great. Because yes, so may I know what is your career goal is, your career destination or career statement was?
Sorry?
What was your career statement? Did you come up with a career goal or a career statement in the last activity?
And no, I didn't solve it actually, but I can send it right away.
No problem. So
Okay.
when you're doing, I would always recommend you to refer your personal SWOT once in 6 months and see how you have progressed, and revise your personal SWOT based on the changes in your career. So your career changes, like your career path might change, right? Or you might have done some trainings and you have converted some weakness into strengths, or you might have had new opportunities coming up. So revise your SWOT analysis on a regular basis to keep it updated and to see what you have to focus on in the next 6 months. Generally, it's 6 months is recommended, but at least every 12 months, you have to refer back your personal SWOT and do the changes. So thank you so much for sharing, Gehad. That's amazing that you did one for yourself as well along with your organization. And Victoria is saying that we're all afraid of failure. You are not alone. Yes, exactly. You're all right. It's all about how we handle that fear of failure and we move forward. Victoria also had mentioned that I have experience in marketing and I'm highly motivated. That's your strengths. I need to work on being more confident. Okay, that's your weakness. I have opportunity to improve my software skills in my current jobs. That's amazing. See if you have any opportunity to improve your confidence and all the other aspects which you want as from a weakness point of view at your job as well. Probably you might have to dig deeper on why are you not confident, right? And understand what is the reason behind not being confident, and see if you have opportunities to improve your confidence at work as well. It might be trainings, it might be some projects or initiatives you pick up and execute it, because that also gives you, when those projects becomes success, it gives you confidence, right? So this is an area which you can look at as well. And the quick change in the profession that are always happening is a threat. Yes, adaptability is a skill. Actually, adaptability is one of the most sought out skill these days, because that's how frequently our market is changing, right? So great. So I hope all of you have had an opportunity to look at it, this SWOT analysis. And Victoria, please go a little bit more deeper. I'm sure you can find more strengths. I know 5 minutes is not enough. So please go ahead and do your SWOT analysis later in detail. And I'm sure you'll be able to come up with more and more strengths. And also a list of weaknesses which is actually stopping you from achieving your goals. So with that being said, that brings me to the end of the first P. You're welcome, Victoria. So the first P was the personal skills, right? Now that brings us to the second P. So we have done our career statement, we have done the personal SWOT. Why did we do the personal SWOT? To identify what personal skills we have to focus on. So if you have identified that leadership skills is what I have to focus on, or emotional intelligence is what I have to focus on, or working on my fears is what I have to focus on, working on my confidence is what I have to focus on. That is basically the skills you have to start working on first, because that skills are what is actually required for you to progress in your career, right? So let's look at the second P. The second P, let me quote something. So the most important decisions in your career are made when you are not in the room. What does that mean? Your career is defined by a set of people who sits in a room and make decisions, right? So if you look at from an organization point of view, you are not generally part of the promotion discussions. Your career paths are generally decided by your managers, right? They tell you, okay, you are promoted to this role. Generally, you don't have influence to that decisions. Is that true? What if you had influence on those decisions that they make in that room? And that's exactly why the next P is people, right? if you had influence on those people, that 4 or 5 people who makes the career decisions for you, if you're moving into an entrepreneurial job, it's completely different. But I'm talking about those who are into organizations. So for those people, if you have influence on those set of people who are in that room who makes those career decisions, how powerful would it be? That defines your career, right? So who includes that in that people? So it's all about the tribe you have, it's all about the network you have, and I call it your personal board of directors. So I would ask Paula, right? Paula wanted to start a business. So if you were a business, will you not have a board of advisors who are invested in your success? You will, right? Every single organization have a board of directors who are guiding them, supporting them, who are telling them what investments to make, what investments not to make, what decisions to make, etc. Personal board of directors does the same in your professional development. So this personal board of directors is a group of 6 to 8 people you can turn to for advice when you're faced with opportunities, challenges, or critical career decisions. So my board consisted of professionals with whom I had interacted or collaborated, who have mentored me for years, and also some of my members from the organization, because I understand that those people are the people who have influence on my career, right? And they might be from different fields, industries, and they might also represent a variety of career levels. So let me help you create your personal board of directors now. So whom do you should have on your personal board of directors? Let's quickly take a look at it. So the first person whom you should have on your personal board of director is a mentor. We all know it. We all know why you should have a mentor, right? So if you want to be an expert, so you have some weaknesses which you're working on, you want to be an expert in that, you want to convert that weakness into a strength, you look for a mentor who is expert in that area. So a person who is extremely, so for example, Victoria can look at a person who's extremely confident in the organization and try to learn from them, right? That person is an expert. He or she will support your growth and development by providing advice, feedback, and guidance, because they have been through the challenges you have been through and they have actually overcome them. So they will support your growth. They will support you to change your weakness into strength. The other advantage is that they have a tribe of their own. They have a network of their own. When you're connecting with a mentor, when a mentor is helping you, you can also tap into their network, thereby expanding your professional network, expanding the number of people you're connected with. And that expansion of network might have people who take your career decisions. So the first person you should have on your personal board of director is a mentor. And how to find a mentor? I would say the best thing is to ask for help, be curious, ask people. Generally, we are always very scared to ask for help from people. And when you generally ask, you get it. You don't get what you don't ask. So if you find somebody who's extremely good at what you are not, ask them if they can mentor you. Many of the organizations have their own mentorship programs. If your organization have one, that is amazing. Utilize it. Okay. The second person you have on your personal board of director is a connector. This is a person with great connections. You might have seen some people who are so good at networking, right? They're super good at networking. They have lots of great connections. They are connected with your managers, your manager's manager, or they're connected with, for example, for Paula, for entrepreneurs, is again very important, right? They're connected with VCs. They are connected with people who can fund your company. This person is great with connections, and he or she is the one whom you can reach out to when you want to expand your network. If you want to reach out to a person, the best way to reach out is through a person who knows them. If you blindly reach out to them on LinkedIn, generally sometimes people don't respond, but if you give a referral, people do respond, right? So that is exactly why having a connector in your personal board of director is extremely important. How to find a connector? Social media is a great place. You will find people probably, generally connectors are not always those who are in high positions. They are just people who have influence on those high level positioned people. They are influencers, right? So you can look at social media, you can look at LinkedIn, because we're talking about professional You can look at LinkedIn, you will see people who have connections with VPs and directors and managers and whoever is that in that room that makes your decision, makes your career decision. That's the person whom you have to be connected with, and how you can interact with them, make that connection network better, and connect with those people who are taking your career decisions. Also, you can look at your team. In your team, there might be great people who actually connect with, who are great influencers. They might not be in a leadership role. They might not be in that room where the career decisions are made, but they have influence on those people, right? Look at the social media and your organization to find your connector person. And finally, the informational powerhouse. This is critical, right? Because how would you understand what is happening within an organization or what is happening within an industry if you don't have a person who understands the pulse of it? So there are some people who keeps them updated with whatever is going in the industry, etc., or the broader business environment. Those people are the informational powerhouse. Again, I would say networking, connecting, collaborating over social media or within your organization is a great way to find an informational powerhouse. So these are the three people. There are two more people whom you need to have on your personal board of directors, but these are the three most important people as well. So let's look at the other two. The next person is a sponsor, and this is the person who could be in that room, right? That room where the career decisions are made. He is an influential individual who can accelerate by putting your name forward for career opportunities like high visibility assignments and promotions. So this person's word is taken by the people who make your career decisions. They advocate for your work. They understand the quality of your work and they advocate for you. And they are the ones who are crucial in accelerating your career because they have influence on those decision makers or probably one of the decision maker as well, right? So this one person is a must on your personal board of directors. You can, once you start looking out for these people, you can simply find them because they're all around the place within an organization. It's so easy to identify. You will know who is in the promotion board. You will know who is in that room for sure. Then it's very easy for you to identify the sponsor and also the connector. Again, how to find a sponsor? You have to find the sponsor and you have to communicate, connect, and network with that person. It's all about reaching out to those people. That's all it's required basically to have this connection with that person. Many times we refrain from reaching out to people. Finally, the influencer. The person who have influence, the person who can make things happen. So if you need to get some folks on board with a new idea or initiative, you tap on your influencer, right? That person has the influence to get people on board on your ideas, on your initiatives, on things which you want to do within the organization. So these are the few members whom you have to have on the personal board of directors. And again, network, connect, and collaborate. So you would see the theme, right? A theme across the whole personal board of directors. To identify them and to communicate with them is basically network, connect, and collaborate. So networking in professional context, networking or your professional network is super important. I don't know how much to emphasize on this. You will see some people getting promoted quickly within the organization. You will think he just does the same work as me. Why is he or she gets promoted quickly? It is because of the kind of people they have in their network. And that is why your network is your superpower. Any questions? Please feel free to put down your questions in the chat or you can ask me as well. So let's do a quick activity, the activity number 3. Let's identify your personal board of directors. Let's take 2 to 3 minutes. Just...
I do apologize for interfering in this particular session. That I do have a question: how to identify those people in the organization? Can you highlight some tips and tricks to identify those people?
Sure. So for example, if you want to identify a mentor, I mentioned that you identified that you have some skills that you have to work on to achieve your career vision, right? So for example, some of your weaknesses like leadership skill. You want to be a leader, but you're not good at leadership skills. You want to improve it. So you find a person in the organization who is extremely good at in leadership. You understand how do you understand that? Probably by looking at the way they lead their team, but based on the feedback you receive from within the organization, saying that because he's a great leader, he has extremely good leadership skills, he's somebody you have to learn from. That is how you identify a mentor, for example. So that is why I made you do the personal SWOT analysis, and then I'm coming to the people, is because whatever decisions you take in your career should be based on what is your career vision, your career, that is your career statement. Then you have the personal SWOT, which is done based on your career statement, right? So you know what are the weaknesses you have to work on. Once you identify that, now you know who should be your mentor, for example. Now, from a sponsor point of view, how would you identify a sponsor? A sponsor is a person who have the decision-making power, who can advocate for your work, and who is actually listened by the people who makes decisions. So you will, that's why you have to look out for people in your organization. You will notice that when one of the member gives some suggestions to your manager actually listens to them, or the leader actually listens to them. So that person probably has influence on your management or on the leadership. Or he might also be another leader. He adores your work. He have seen your work. You have supported him in some projects. He really likes your work. He will start advocating your work. So that's how you could probably identify a sponsor. And for example, an influencer can be anybody. So I have seen people who are extremely influential, but not in leadership position. They have influence on VPs, on directors, etc., because of the kind of work they do, the networking they do with those people. So you have to look out within your organization to identify these people. And when you start looking out, you will find them. And the answer to your question, Anna, yes, a connector could also be an influencer. It is not compartmentalized. So a sponsor could be an influencer, a mentor could be a sponsor. You know, a mentor could be a managerial person, and he could also be sponsoring you, could be advocating for your for work. That's fine. This is just that these are the different segments of people you need to at least have within an organization. Jenda, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I got my answer.
You're welcome. So
in a nutshell, I would like to say that first you identify your strength, weakness, or what weakness, and according to that, you have to apply those tricks which you have mentioned, and to find the person to improve yourself. I think this is the main summary of this discussion, right?
Exactly. And when you're finding your sponsor, how would you identify your sponsor? So if you want to be in a leadership position, the board for the leadership position would be different from the promotion board, would be different from when somebody is being promoted from a normal role, right? So you identify, okay, these are the people who are taking decisions. So that is my sponsor. That person should be in my personal board of directors. But if you want to be in a different role, identify who is the decision maker, that he should be your sponsor. So it all depends on where you want to go, and that's exactly why where you want to go is extremely important.
Yeah, that is true. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Great. So since we are running out of time, I will move to the next part. So I hope you have some time to think about your personal board of directors and create your personal board of directors. Please don't just think that you can create it in 3 minutes. Take your time. I would ask you to do all of these activities, schedule some slot within your weekend and do all of these activities. And once you do this, I can literally tell you how it will change your professional career. So what are some tips to select and maintain your personal board of directors? The first one is, when you're creating your personal board of directors, strive for diversity. Diversity in background, in education, field, and sector. That is one thing which you can do. You can have a combination of mentors and non-mentors, connectors and influencers, sponsors, etc. And the second aspect is, it's a dynamic entity. Understand that personal board of directors is a dynamic entity. Your board will expand or contract as you progress in your career. As you meet, connect, and invest in more relationships with other professionals, it will change. So probably currently now you want to be in a leadership role, your personal board of directors would be XYZ. Later you realize, okay, no, I want to move into C level, right? Or something, manager level, or I want to move to a completely different industry. Your personal board of directors will change, right? So its makeup will also change depending on your needs and goals if it changes, as well as shifts in the economy and job market. Because some people might retire, some people in the personal board of directors might move to a completely different industry, they might have no more influence in that area. Your personal board of directors could change. So it's a dynamic entity, and it's something which you have to revise as you revise your career goals. The third one is extremely critical. You know, this is what happens. We always create our personal board of directors. We have our network in a paper. That doesn't work. You have to stay in touch with them. Generally, what you can tell them is that you are part of my personal board of director. Let them know about your goals. Let them know about your ideas. Schedule calls with them. 15, 20, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 30 minutes call, that's enough. If you have any questions, ask them, reach out to them, stay in touch with them, not just for your own purpose, but also from a, build authentic connections. That's what I can say. You have to actually build authentic, friendly connections with those people rather than just professional connections. And it's extremely easy by just staying in touch with them, congratulating them when they're getting a promotion, or congratulating them when they're doing a great work. Saying that, thank you so much for supporting me in this. Some basic things you do, and you are able to stay in touch with them. Other than that, also let them know that they are part of your personal board of directors. They are, let them know about your goals. Talk to your sponsor about your goal. Tell them that I am interested in leadership position. Will you recommend me if there are any? Is there anything you can tell me? Like, what would you look for in a leader? How can I improve my leadership skills? This is a great conversation to have. And finally, make it a win-win experience. Share your knowledge. Be committed to building a relationship with this person by finding ways to have a common ground. And genuinely try to add value to that person. You will find different ways you can do it, probably by sharing some interesting articles or taking up some initiatives which he's leading and supporting him in that. Whatever it be, try to make this experience a win-win one. So these are some tips to select and maintain your personal board of directors. Great, so that brings us to the end of the second P, which is the people. And this is a critical aspect in your boosting your employability and catalyzing your career as well. And imagine what if you had your personal board of director, one member or few members in that room where the most important decisions in your career is made. How amazing that would be, how powerful that could be, right? So remember, your network is your net worth. That's it. If there is one thing, if you would take away from this particular session of one of us, this is what it should be. You should be focusing on developing your network, your professional network. Great, so that brings us to the third P, which few of you have actually mentioned. I don't remember, I think it was Agnes. Somebody who mentioned about personal branding. How would you promote yourself? So the third P is actually that. So, and it has become extremely crucial in catalyzing your career and boosting your employability, especially considering the circumstances we are facing now, right? Because we are now a more digitized world. And if you look at what recruiters say about your brands, is this. So 85% of the US recruiters say that an employee's online reputation influences their hiring decision. So put down on the chat, how many of you have a LinkedIn profile and constantly use your LinkedIn profile to reach out to people, constantly update your LinkedIn profile and is active on LinkedIn? Just yes on the chat would do, because LinkedIn is a professional network, right? And when recruiters actually, so if you look at here, 85% of the US, this is just for US, but I'm sure this is also at least true in the Middle East here as well. All the recruiters looks on LinkedIn to identify their reputation. Yes, you have to update it, Victoria. If it requires updation, please do go and update it, but don't use it very much. Morgana, you have to use it, because that's where all the things happen. You're looking for employability opportunities. That's where it's all happening. but I don't connect with people. What stops you from connecting with people, Paula? Please do connect. Now you know why you should connect, right? Yes, but without reaching out to recruiters, but don't know how to approach them. I didn't keep in touch with people there. Okay. Yeah, it's not necessarily always that you reach out to people, reach out to recruiters for them to start recruiting you. Generally, when you are automatically, what do I say? When you are active on LinkedIn, recruiters actually search for people. They don't actually always look for the people who apply to the jobs. They also come to LinkedIn. They literally search for employees on LinkedIn based on keywords. So that's how powerful LinkedIn is. So it's extremely important that you keep your LinkedIn updated and be active on LinkedIn. At least 3 times a week is the bare minimum. Be active on LinkedIn, post something related to your industry, create that a sense of expertise within within the LinkedIn. LinkedIn itself is a huge topic. Probably you can have a different session on it, but this is just to highlight the importance of it. So 85% of the US recruiters actually are influenced by the online reputation. And Agnieszka says that yes, she gets offers and messages through LinkedIn. Yes, Agnieszka, let me give you an example. I hired to Oracle through LinkedIn. They reached out to me. I was an Oracle consultant before, but working with partners, but not with Oracle. They found me through LinkedIn. So that's how powerful LinkedIn is. Second is 90%. So if you think it's only for the normal employees, that's not true. Even for executive recruiters, for C-level recruiters, for the C-level recruitments, the recruiters conduct online research to find potential candidates. So I had one client of mine who wanted to work on his LinkedIn branding. He wanted to move into a C-level role. He's now a VP role in one of the multinational organizations. He wanted to work on his LinkedIn profile and personal branding only because when he went to multiple interviews, they said that what you say is not reflected on your LinkedIn. Why? What you do within your organization is not reflected on your LinkedIn. Why? This was a question he got. He's going to be recruited into C-level positions in multinational companies, right? So that's how powerful LinkedIn is. And finally, now you know, like influencers are the most paid people on the planet these days, right? 92% of people trust recommendations from individuals over brands. So that is why now many brands focus on having individuals advocate their brand, right? So now you would be thinking, what is a personal brand? And I don't think anyone else have explained it better than Jeff Bezos. So let me just pull him up to explain it to you. So as per Jeff Bezos, your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Let that sink again. What do people say about you when you're not in the room? That is basically your personal brand. You can influence that conversation. You can influence what they say about you using social media, using the work you do within an organization, using your network to advocate for you, right? That is how you influence what other people say about you. And social media plays a great role. LinkedIn plays an amazing role in doing that. And that's why focusing on personal branding on LinkedIn is important. Great. So that's basically brings to the third P, which is personal branding. In personal branding, you have to focus on thought leadership. What do I mean by that? Are you an expert in a particular area? Or what is your career goal? Do you want to be perceived as an expert in that career area? That is what you have to, that is basically what personal branding is all about. People should start talking about you that you are a good leader even before you are a leader, right? They have to start saying that you have some leadership skills which can help you excel in that role before you're even a leader. That is when how people understand about you and hear about you, and they will recruit you for that role. Communicating your expertise, showing your work. Personal branding is a huge topic which we don't have time to discuss now, but this is a critical topic which you should actually explore, which have great impact on accelerating your career. So some tips to create a personal brand is be an expert, try to portray as an expert on the social media within your organization where people reach you out for. So most probably you are already one. You might be already one. Some people might tell you, if it's about this, please contact Agnieszka. If it's about this, contact Paula. People might be already talking about you on that aspect. Identify that and try to amplify it if that is what the area you want to focus on in your career statement. Show your work. If you don't advertise yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. So show your work. It's not about boasting or showing undermining other people's work, no, but showing, portraying what you do in the right way is basically what I'm talking about here. And finally, use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is super powerful. I don't know how much to emphasize on this, but it's extremely powerful on that. So that's the 3 Ps. That's basically what I wanted to discuss. Let's, considering the time, let's quickly move to the effective PDP, how to create an effective PDP. So we saw what is the 3 Ps to catalyze your career. We also see how to implement the 3 Ps. Now let's look at how to bring it all together into your personal development plan. So there are different templates available. I can also share a template, which I can probably share with Erica, which you can actually use. So basically a personal development template, we were creating your personal development plan across this whole session actually. So the whole personal development plan template looks like this. Basically your name and what is the plan date, etc. And the first section is picturing your future. And that's exactly what we did in your career statement, right? What are your career interests? What is your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? Put that down on that personal development plan template. When you write things down, when only that time things get solidified, and that's exactly why writing things down is extremely important. So first section of the personal development plan is picturing the future, which is what we did in the career statement. The second section is think about the present, which is what we did basically in the personal SWOT, right? What is the current situation? What is your strengths? What is your weaknesses? Or what I would like to call it in PDP, like what are the areas of growth, which you already identified in your SWOT, right? Put that down. So these are some questions which are there on the template, which can help you actually, create your personal development plan. So use the results from the SWOT analysis and these questions to actually put down your strengths and areas for growth. Then plan for the next steps. In the plan, you will have different goals which you have. So what are the different goals that is required to be completed to actually achieve your career vision, which is a 5-year vision or 3-year vision or your retirement plan, whatever it be. What are your different goals? Write down your goals. What are the steps you have to take? Action steps. How can you develop, how can you make sure this goal is achieved? How do you measure that this goal is achieved? Put that down. Also look at the impact. So if you're an employee, if you're doing a development goal based on your career, does this development goal have, it might be your personal development goal, but does that have an impact on the business? Are you helping the business improve in some aspects by working on this particular goal of yours? Put that down. And also have a date for these goals. So for example, one of the goals could be to improve your leadership skills or improve anything on your weaknesses section. Put that down. What are the steps you can take? Probably you can take some trainings, probably you can have a mentor, whatever it be. What are the measurements? How do you measure that you achieve this goal? Okay, finishing the trainings is one measurement, talking to the mentor and working with him is another measurement. Or finally, getting into taking some initiatives in a project and leading it to success could be also a measurement, right? So you're implementing that learning, and that could be a measurement of success as well. So this is how you create your personal development plan template. And finally, once you have all those goals and these ideas put down, you also commit career development. And this is a template generally many organizations, many multinational companies actually use on a regular basis, because they are also focused on improving the individual's career. They do a lot of focus on that these days. But you as a person can also do it. And you can also share it with your manager if you want to. Some of us do that so that our management is also aware, okay, these are our career aspirations. This is what work I'm doing. Unless they are aware, how will they actually help you achieve them, right? So it's a great place to start with. Have your career statement, have your goals set and everything, and come back and see. You have to actually review it on a regular basis. So if you see the starting section, there is a quarterly review date, whether it's quarterly or bi-yearly, it's totally up to you how you review it. So start reviewing it on a regular basis, see how you're improving. And that's also a great way to track your progress, to keep you motivated, right? So that is basically the personal development plan is all about. Any questions here?
Yes, I think that Simon had his hand up.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Erica.
Simon, do you have a question? You have your hand up. You can unmute yourself and ask it to Sajna.
Okay, no problem, Simon. I can take your question later as well. Or you can put down your question in the chat. So just a recap of what we did so far. We actually saw the 3 Ps, how to implement them and create an effective PDP. We also see what are the 3 Ps to catalyze your career, which is your personal skills, your people, your network, your net worth, right? And finally, the personal branding part. The personal branding is a huge topic, which I will never be able to cover in 15, 20 minutes. That's why I'll get deeper into it, but this is an extremely important one. And what we did so far was we created your career statement. So please go back and refine your career statement. I see Gehad have mentioned her career statement. I will check it out. So craft your career statement, revise it, just spend some time on it, because this is extremely important, from where all the other activities actually start. Build your network, have that network map. You can have your personal board of directors on a paper. It is important that you write it down, you stay connected with them, you communicate with them, you build your network, connect authentically, and let it not just be a plan. Connect with them on a regular basis, right? So that's important. And create your personal development plan. So when you're creating your personal development plan, I would like you to focus at least 30 to 40% of your goals on developing your personal skills. You can have technical skills also on your personal development plan, that's totally fine, but also focus equally on your personal skills. We saw why it's important, and I'm sure that many of you know why it's important by now, right? So focus always on developing your personal skills as well, along with your technical skills. Technical skills can get obsolete, your personal skills don't go out of fashion. So that's basically, can everyone hear me? Because some of them are saying they can't hear me. Erica, can you hear me? Okay, so that's basically it. That's the end of the session. If you want to stay connected with me, I am actually running. This is pretty, what do I say? It's very coincidental, because I was running a 30 days career catalyzer challenge on my Instagram page, and I was giving 2 spots for coaching free. If you take part in the challenge includes many activities. If you take part in this 30-day career challenge and you do all the activities in it, I will pick 2 people and I would coach them. So they will get 1 hour coaching free with me. So I don't know how did this kind of align with this 30-day career challenge, which Erica and the Europe Jobs is doing as well, but this was pretty coincidental. So if you want to be part of the challenge, you can join the challenge through my LinkedIn or through my Instagram. I will share my LinkedIn and Instagram links now with you. So please, if you would like to be part of the challenge, And you can do most of the things which I mentioned, and additionally many other tasks which I give you. If it's completed, it will actually help you catalyze your career. At the same time, you'll also get a free coaching session. Great. So these are my Instagram links and also my LinkedIn link. Whichever is convenient for you, please join. And I would love to stay connected with you. So what do I offer from my coaching point of view? I do one-on-one coaching. I can see some of my clients here as well today. I'm extremely excited. Rahul, thank you so much for joining. And also I have some online courses, which is mostly on how to create a unique selling personality, how to identify your purpose, how to create a unique selling personality, and a little bit of personal branding as well in that course. And if you want to book a 30 minutes career catalyzer session with me, which is free, you can actually reach out to me. I will also post my calendar link on the chat box. So that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed the session. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Before I wrap up, if there is one thing I would like you to remember from this whole session, is that don't take an unplanned career trip. Create the future you want to by investing in the 3 P's, which we discussed: people, personal branding, and personality. Because the best way to predict the future is to create it, right? Well, how else can you predict the future? So do that. I will just share my calendar link as well if you would like to stay in touch with me. Here it is. This is my calendar link and also my Instagram and LinkedIn page. Any questions? I would like to have feedback. What did you think about the session? Was it helpful for you? I would really love to hear your feedback. We have 5 more minutes, so. You can unmute yourself. Thank you so much, Hasna. Thank you, Gihad. Gihad, if you can just send me your career statement on LinkedIn, that would be amazing. I lost your career statement in between all of these chats.
And firstly, ma'am, I would like to thankful and grateful to you for sharing this vital information, which will definitely help to enhance our career and to focus our weakness and to develop and to overcome our weakness also by these tips and tricks, and along with the influence, along with connecting with these people you have mentioned. So and now I would like to request you to give more tips and tricks on how to improve the LinkedIn profile. That if you can do it, it will be a great help for those participants also, as well as for me also. So I am very curious to know about it, and I am already connected with you with the help of this Instagram. So for that, we can develop. I can develop, or we can develop our own professional skill and all these things, which will be very helpful in order to work in any industry.
Great. Thank you so much, Chanta, for your feedback. First of all, yes, I actually do specific sessions for LinkedIn profile updates, because that in itself takes 1.5 hours to actually go through the whole LinkedIn profile and tell you how to actually improve it. I don't know if there are any similar sessions coming in this 30-day career session, but probably Erica would be able to enlighten you on that. If not, yes, if I'm arranging some sessions on it, I used to do workshops before. If I'm doing one, I will definitely let you know. And thank you so much for everyone who gave me.
Thank you, madam, for your valuable time, sharing your valuable time with us.
You're welcome, Chanta. Thank you so much, everyone. Anna Maria, yes, you haven't heard about personal development plan templates. Yes, I can share it with you, or you can also find free templates online. It's totally up to you which you want to use it. If you want mine, I can share it with Erica as well. I'm extremely happy that you all found it helpful and insightful. That is amazing. That makes my time worthwhile, right? Thank you all. And only one thing, if this 1 hour hours you spent here should be worthwhile for you, please go ahead and do the personal development plan template, your career statement, personal SWOT, etc. Make this 1 hour hours much more powerful for you, because that is where the whole growth lies. So please go ahead and do that as well.
Thank you, Sajna, for this very insightful webinar. I think we all agree it helped everyone, and everyone is very grateful for all of your advice. If there are no more questions, we'll be finishing now. Thank you everyone for coming. We'll just like to tell you that tomorrow, the topic for the day 4 of the challenge is where in Europe is your native language in demand? So if you're curious about that, you can sign up to the event and you will get a newsletter with the link to our blog. And our next webinar will be taking place next Monday. It's October 11th. And the topic is how to organize your job search. It's with Matilda Patsu, another professional career coach. So you're very welcome to sign up. It's also free, as every webinar in our event. So we hope to see you there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sajna.
Thank you, Lucina. Thank you, Erika. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. You can finish.